We are getting closer and closer to the big game of tomorrow, Juve-Inter, and I can tell you that if there is one person on earth that is already playing the game, at least in his mind, it is Igor Tudor. This is what I was able to notice, to watch in the verbal and non-verbal behavior of our coach in press conference, and that's of course what we will debrief in today's video. Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel. I will translate the press conference, not every single line of course, but the important parts, and then telling you what is coming from La Continassa about the possible starting 11. And no, it is not the one that you see circulating, the one from Sky Sport, which is impossible. Zero chances for that one. If you didn't yet, please support the channel with a maximum of like. Don't forget to subscribe because we start. I told you, if there is one person that is already playing Juve-Inter, it is the Croatian coach that in his non-verbal, well, you could really feel it. He was nervous. He was angry. He was a real warrior. He didn't like the questions that were arriving to him. He was a bit making confusion, not really understanding, or he didn't want to understand the questions, trying to dribble them. Well, looks like he was really in a mood like, I will not tell you, to the journalist, what I didn't tell the players yet. And this is actually, to understand Igor Tudor, you need to go to the past, a bit vintage. Also linked to Antonio Conte. I will tell you a backstage story. So there are some coaches that are preparing the game, and quite early in the week they are already telling who are the players that are starting. They're already giving the lineup, they are giving the formation, they are giving the tactics, etc., which partially Igor Tudor is doing, but he's waiting until the last moment, la rifinitura. And usually in Italy the coaches are doing that the day before the game, which Tudor is not doing. He's waiting until the day of the game, especially when we are playing at home, la rifinitura, so the finishing touches, and that's where he will tell the 11 players that are starting the game. That's where he will really go towards what they need to do to keep all of them alert. And you know, the last coach at Juve that was doing the rifinitura when we were playing at home the day of the game, it was Antonio Conte. Antonio Conte that played with Igor Tudor. They know each other extremely well. So that's why he was in that mood. I will not tell you if the players do not know. And that's also one of the things why we never hear from Tudor 1, 2, 3, 4 players that will start the day later. Now, what did he say? Important things. He spoke about Zhegrova not only confirming what the players said the day before in press conference, but even adding a game. So we will not see him for the games against Inter and the game against and against Dortmund. We will see him from the game against Verona. So 1 week. Why is that? He didn't really explain, but asking a bit of people, what we understand is because they really want to avoid risk. We heard it yesterday from Edon where he said, I just actually started to train on Tuesday, so it's really not a lot of time. They want to avoid risks. They want really to assess. They really want to make him work really hard to understand how he's reacting under pressure. And that's why they are keeping him 1 more week there, tranquillo, and from Verona he will start to be called up. Is he physically okay? Yes, he is physically okay. The test has been done, there is no problem there. Could he play? Well, he has that autonomy of 10-15 minutes because it's something that we are still repeating, that he didn't play since the month of December. So no problems for Zhegrova. Just 1 week to really understand now that he is in our home how he's reacting. Now he spoke about Koopmeiners, and that's the only moment where really he was extremely annoyed because he was bored, because he said, guys, you're obsessed with Koopmeiners. There were always questions. It's like, now how long that I'm here, and every single time there is a question about Koopmeiners. You're really obsessed about him. Leave him alone, were his words. Leave him really alone. Leave him in peace. He has that sense of belonging. He really wants to do really well, and actually he's doing really well in the last 2 games. How he entered, and also the game against Atalanta, that last friendly, where he played really, really well. So it's a player that wants to do really well, and actually I tell you that the message behind the words of Tudor is, guys, you know it. Technically, tactically, it's a player that we don't discuss, but it's mental. leave him in peace. Less we speak about him, better he's doing. Don't put him unnecessary pressure because it's something that he's suffering, and we know it, and we said it last year. He spoke about Openda, a long chapter, because of course Openda is available, no problem. That's what also the coach confirmed. But he really said, oh, ragazzi, he's a player that needs space. He's a player that can move left or right. He needs a lot of freedom on the field. He's a counter-attacking number 9, a player that we don't have in terms of characteristic with Juve. It's a player that he must not come back too much in the game. He needs to stay up, having these paces going. It's a player that, yes, he could potentially play instead of Yildiz, instead of Conceição, but not doing the same tasks at what I was asking from this player, because he's a total different player. So he's really telling us that. Then the question, will he play or not? When a journalist says so, he will not play tomorrow, he said, who said that? You said that. I never said that. So he's leaving also open mysteries, question marks for the game of tomorrow, because he doesn't want to give any advantage to Inter. He spoke about Conceição and exactly the same technique. It's a 50-50. We don't know. We will see tomorrow if he can be on the bench, if not, if he can play or not, how many minutes he can play. So leaving also that question for Conceição open. We'll discover it tomorrow when the lineups will be out. He spoke also about Dusan Vlahovic, saying that he never felt so good in his life that at the moment the team loves him, his teammates love him, he loves his teammates. He's scoring as he did with Juve in the 2 games. He scored also with Serbia. He's doing extremely well, and I can confirm you also from La Continassa, they are telling us that Dusan Vlahovic physically is really in a super shape, but this is absolutely not surprising if we know that every single season, August, September are the months of Dusan Vlahovic. Spoke about Kalulu. Is that right wing back an emergency role at the moment? He said, no, absolutely not. It's not an emergency role. At the moment, he's playing there, and he's playing well there. Now, will that be the role of Kalulu forever? I personally don't think so, but he's leaving also their open strategy. I don't tell you who will play where. The same, who can play on the left. I told all the names. Cambiaso can play there. He said Joao Mario, Kostic, even said McKennie, Cabal. Like 5-6 players can play on the left. Everyone can play on the left. Also there, not giving any indication, not giving any advantage to the opponent. But what he said, and that's an important thing, he said, I watch what we have, I watch what we don't have, I watch what we are missing, and then I'm choosing for the best of the team, for the best of having a balance, because I don't want to go for flashy, trendy, offensive football, but a football that becomes unbalanced, because the objective is to win. The objective is to win and to play with offensive wingers as right wing back, just to please the fans, to please the media, to actually be on trend is absolutely not something that I'm looking for. He is an offensive coach, but looking also for balance, which is really important, because there is one main objective, and it is to win. What about the tactics? He said, look, we always played with a 3-4-2-1 with 2 trequartisti beyond or in the back of the striker. At the moment it's working. It's something that we are working on since 5-6 months now, so we'll continue to work with that. Then it's up to me. Now it's up to me with the players that we have to slightly start to adapt, to maximize the assets that I have at disposal, but of course it needs time. So will we see tomorrow a 3-4-2-1? I don't think so. It will take time, and then we will see how he will be able to use all the players that he has at disposal. He said, I want to see everything tomorrow from our players, but I have good feelings from the training session. What about Inter? He said after Inter, because it's not a decisive game, because after that we will have 35 games still to play. Yes, it's true. I said in the interview on DAZN that it is a game that is not like all the other ones. I said that Juve-Inter is an important game, but on the other side, DAZN, they have cut that part of interview where I said, it's a game, guys, it's a game. 35 games still needs to be played. Now, let's see. Not too much pressure. Tomorrow we go. We are in our home. We respect our opponent, but the super important thing that we are also respecting ourselves. All the games are special to me. And then he went with the lineup. No, that's not true. I go with the lineup. Forget about the Locatelli, Thuram, Koopmeiners and McKennie all together, because this is what Sky Sport is reporting us, with McKennie as a left wing back, with Koopmeiners next to Yildiz behind the striker, and with the duo Locatelli-Thuram. Forget about that, because Miretti will not recuperate, because we need some changes also in the midfield, so forget about that. Miretti will not be there. I don't think that Adzic suddenly will start to play in that role, so forget about that lineup. No, we will not see a 3-5-2, we will not play a mirror effect, and forget about that 3-4-1-2. So we continue with that 3-4-2-1, and this time we play, or should play, with Di Gregorio into the goal, Kalulu, Bremer and Kelly. Kalulu, Bremer and Kelly. Could be that Gatti last moment is winning over Kalulu, but that's tomorrow that we will discover. But normally it should be Kalulu, Bremer and Kelly. And then we have Joao Mario again on the right side, not on the left. Locatelli, Thuram and Kostic on the left. Up front, Koopmeiners, Yildiz behind at the moment, Jonathan David. But we are not taking away the surprise, Openda. Let's see what tomorrow Igor Tudor will choose for the huge big game against Inter, the Derby d'Italia. If you enjoyed that video, don't forget to put a maximum of likes. If you want to see how the third shirt is looking on me, go on Instagram, because there are some beautiful pictures. I think beautiful pictures. I think that Buffon and Barzagli, they can just focus on what they are doing at the moment, taking care of national team under 21 and the first one, because let me take care of being the model. Anyway, jokes aside, grazie, forza, Juve. Ciao.